What if everything you've been told about life and death is a carefully crafted lie? What if there's a secret so powerful that it's been buried for over 1,000 years, because it would completely shatter the chains of control around your mind? Right now, as you're listening to this, there are forces that don't want you to know what I'm about to reveal. They've spent centuries making sure this knowledge stays hidden. But today, that changes. 1,200 years ago, a group of mystical scholars created something extraordinary. A manuscript so dangerous that it was immediately banned, burned, and erased from history. Not because it was evil, but because it contained the ultimate truth about who you really are and what your soul experienced before you took your first breath in this world. This isn't some New Age fantasy or feel-good philosophy. This is documented ancient wisdom that explains why you're here, why you chose this exact life, and most importantly, how you can break free from the victim mentality that's been programmed into you since birth. If you're ready to discover the 7 sacred stages your soul went through before incarnating, hit that like button right now, and let's dive into knowledge that could transform everything you thought you knew about existence. The manuscript I'm talking about is called the Codex Animi, written in Latin over 12 centuries ago by a secret order of mystics who understood something that modern society has forgotten. Your soul didn't just randomly appear in this body. It didn't accidentally end up in your family or your circumstances. Every single aspect of your life was carefully planned and chosen by you before you were born. I know that sounds impossible, especially when you look at the pain, the struggles, the seeming unfairness of life. But here's what the ancient mystics understood that we've forgotten. Your soul doesn't think like your human mind. It doesn't avoid pain or seek comfort. It seeks growth, evolution, and the expansion of consciousness, even if that means choosing a difficult path. Think about this for a moment. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant connection, like you've known them forever? Have you ever walked into a place and felt completely at home, even though you'd never been there before? Have you ever had dreams so vivid they felt more real than waking life? These aren't coincidences. They're memories bleeding through from your soul's preparation for this lifetime. The Codex Animi describes 7 distinct stages that every soul passes through before incarnation. Each stage serves a specific purpose in preparing you for the human experience. And understanding these stages will completely change how you see your challenges, your relationships, and your purpose in this world. But before we dive into these stages, you need to understand why this knowledge was hidden. Throughout history, those in power realize something terrifying. A human being who knows their true nature cannot be controlled. They can't be manipulated through fear, guilt, or shame. They can't be convinced they're powerless victims of circumstance. Imagine a world where everyone knew they were eternal beings who chose their life experiences for growth. Imagine if everyone understood that every challenge was an opportunity they selected for their soul's evolution. The entire system of control would crumble overnight. That's why manuscripts like the Codex Animi were systematically destroyed. That's why anyone who tried to share this wisdom was persecuted. That's why you've been taught to see yourself as small, limited, and at the mercy of external forces. But your soul remembers. Deep down, beneath all the programming and conditioning, there's a part of you that knows this truth. That's why you're here, listening to this right now. Your soul is calling you to remember. Let's start with the first stage. The call of universal consciousness. Before your soul even begins the journey toward incarnation, something profound happens. The universal consciousness, the source of all existence, sends out what the mystics called the silent song. This isn't a sound you hear with your ears. It's a frequency that resonates through the fabric of reality itself, calling souls to new experiences. Your soul, existing in the expanded awareness of the spiritual realm, hears this call and recognizes it's time. Time for another adventure in physical reality. Time to learn new lessons, heal old wounds, and contribute to the collective evolution of consciousness. But here's the crucial part. This isn't a command or an obligation. Your soul has complete free will. It can choose to answer the call or remain in the spiritual realm for as long as it wishes. The fact that you're here, in a physical body, means your soul enthusiastically said yes to this cosmic invitation. Even now, incarnated in physical form, you can still feel echoes of this call. It shows up as that restless feeling that there's something more to life. It appears in moments when you look at a sunset and feel tears in your eyes for no logical reason. It's that deep knowing that you're here for a purpose, even when you can't quite put your finger on what that purpose is. This call is still active in your life. Every time you feel drawn to grow, to learn, to expand beyond your current limitations, you're responding to the same cosmic invitation your soul accepted before birth. Stage 2 is the life review, and this is where things get really interesting. Before choosing your next incarnation, your soul undergoes what can only be described as the most comprehensive movie screening of all time. Every single lifetime you've ever lived plays out before your consciousness, but not like watching a film. You experience it all again, but this time from every perspective. Did you hurt someone in a past life? You feel their pain as if it were your own. Did you heal someone? You experience their joy and relief flooding through you. Did you inspire someone to greatness? You feel their soul expanding with possibility. This isn't punishment. There's no angry judge condemning your actions. This is pure education. Your soul is learning the full impact of every choice it has ever made across all lifetimes. It's developing what the mystics called cosmic empathy, the ability to understand how every action creates ripples throughout the web of existence. But here's what makes this process so beautiful. Your soul doesn't review these lifetimes with human judgment. It doesn't carry shame or guilt. It observes with the detached compassion of a student reviewing their work, noting what served the highest good and what didn't, what brought growth and what created stagnation. This life review serves a crucial purpose. It helps your soul identify patterns that need to be healed, lessons that need to be learned, and gifts that need to be developed. If your soul hurt others through anger in multiple lifetimes, it might choose to incarnate into circumstances that will teach patience and compassion. If it avoided leadership roles, it might choose a lifetime where leadership is unavoidable. Understanding this process can completely transform how you deal with guilt and regret in your current life. Those mistakes you can't forgive yourself for. Your soul has already reviewed them with perfect understanding and compassion. The shame you carry, it's not serving your growth. It's actually preventing you from learning the lessons those experiences were meant to teach. The third stage is the Council of Souls, and this might be the most comforting revelation of all. After reviewing all past lifetimes, your soul is guided to what the Codex describes as a place of pure light and unconditional love. Here, it meets with beings who have been connected to your soul's journey across multiple lifetimes. These aren't strangers making decisions about your life. They're ancient companions, master teachers, and wise guides who know you better than you know yourself. This council includes souls who have shared significant lifetimes with you, advanced beings who serve as spiritual teachers, and sometimes even aspects of your own higher self from different dimensional perspectives. Together, you discuss your soul's current level of development, the lessons still needed for growth, and the experiences that would most serve your evolution. Think of it as the ultimate planning committee, except everyone involved has only love and wisdom guiding their input. They help you see possibilities you might miss, potential challenges that would accelerate your growth, and opportunities to serve the greater good while advancing your own development. This council doesn't make decisions for you. They offer guidance, share their wisdom, and help you see the bigger picture. But every choice about your upcoming lifetime is ultimately yours. You're not a victim of cosmic forces. You're an active participant in designing your own growth experience. The beautiful thing is, this counsel doesn't disappear when you incarnate. They remain available to you throughout your entire lifetime. Those sudden insights that seem to come from nowhere, the guidance you receive in meditation, the synchronicities that point you toward your path, often, these are messages from your counsel, still supporting your journey from the spiritual realm. You can reconnect with this guidance anytime through meditation, prayer, or simply asking for help in moments of quiet reflection. The same beings who helped you plan this life are still available to help you navigate it. Stage 4 is the choice of life purpose, and this is where your soul gets to choose its mission. With the wisdom gained from the life review and the guidance of your counsel, your soul now selects what it wants to accomplish in the upcoming lifetime. This isn't just picking a career or deciding where to live. This is choosing the deepest theme of your entire existence, the golden thread that will weave through every experience you have. Your soul might choose to master forgiveness by incarnating into circumstances that will test this quality repeatedly. It might select courage as its focus, choosing a lifetime filled with opportunities to overcome fear. Or it might choose service, incarnating with abilities and circumstances that allow it to help others in significant ways. Sometimes the purpose is healing, not just for your own soul, but for ancestral patterns that have been repeating through your family line for generations. Your soul might volunteer to be the one who finally breaks cycles of abuse, addiction, or poverty that have affected your lineage for centuries. Other times, the purpose is more expansive. Your soul might choose to bring new knowledge, art, or innovation into the world. It might select a lifetime dedicated to awakening other souls to their true nature or contributing to humanity's collective evolution. Here's the key insight. Your soul never chooses a purpose that's beyond its capacity to achieve. Every challenge it selects comes with all the inner resources needed to meet that challenge successfully. If your soul chose to learn patience, it incarnated with the ability to develop patience, even if it doesn't feel like it in your current human experience. The frustration you feel when you know you're meant for something more isn't confusion. It's your soul remembering its chosen purpose and urging you to align with it. Those moments when you feel most alive and energized, you're probably touching on activities related to your soul's mission. To reconnect with your purpose, pay attention to what breaks your heart about the world. Often, the problems that affect you most deeply are connected to what your soul came here to help heal. Notice what brings you joy even when it's difficult. Your soul's purpose isn't always easy, but it will always feel meaningful when you're aligned with it. The 5th stage is the choice of body and family, and this might be the hardest truth to accept. Your soul, working with its counsel and guided by its chosen purpose, now selects the physical vehicle and family environment that will best serve its mission. This includes choosing your parents, your genetic makeup, your physical appearance, your natural talents, and yes, even your limitations and challenges. I know this can be difficult to accept, especially if you experienced abuse, neglect, or trauma in your family. It might seem impossible that your soul would choose such painful circumstances. But remember, your soul's perspective is vastly different from your human perspective. Your soul sees every experience as an opportunity for growth. It doesn't avoid difficulty. It actually seeks the experiences that will most effectively develop the qualities it wants to master. If your soul chose to learn resilience, it might have selected a challenging family environment that would develop this strength. If it wanted to understand compassion deeply, it might have chosen circumstances that would break your heart open. This doesn't mean abuse is okay or that you should accept harmful treatment. What it means is that your soul is incredibly brave and wise, willing to endure temporary difficulty for the sake of permanent growth. Your parents weren't chosen because they were perfect. They were chosen because they carried the exact mixture of gifts and challenges that would serve your soul's development. Sometimes they were meant to be wonderful examples of love and support. Sometimes they were meant to be teachers of what not to do. Sometimes they were souls from your council who agreed to play difficult roles to help you grow. The same is true for your physical body. Every characteristic, from your height to your health challenges to your natural abilities, was selected to support your soul's mission. Your body isn't a limitation. It's a perfectly designed tool for your spiritual growth. When you understand this level of choice and planning, victim consciousness becomes impossible. You can't blame your circumstances, your parents, or your genetics because at the soul level you selected all of it. This isn't meant to minimize your pain or struggles. It's meant to empower you with the understanding that you have the inner resources to transform any situation, because your soul wouldn't have chosen something it couldn't handle. Stage 6 is the veil of forgetfulness, and this is perhaps the most necessary and beautiful part of the entire process. After all the planning, preparation, and conscious choice-making, your soul faces one final requirement before incarnation. It must forget. It must leave behind all memory of its eternal nature, its chosen purpose, its council of guides, and its careful planning. This might seem cruel or counterproductive. Why would your soul forget everything it worked so hard to plan? The answer lies in the nature of authentic growth and learning. Imagine trying to learn courage while consciously knowing you're immortal and that this lifetime is just temporary. Imagine trying to develop faith while having clear memory of the spiritual realm. Imagine trying to learn love while being fully aware that everyone around you is also an eternal soul playing a temporary role. The forgetting makes the experience real. It allows your soul to have authentic reactions, genuine growth, and true learning. The veil of forgetfulness ensures that every victory is earned, every lesson is learned through experience rather than memory, and every moment of love or compassion comes from the heart rather than spiritual knowledge. But the veil isn't perfect, and it isn't meant to be. It's thin enough that glimpses of truth can shine through. Those moments of déjà vu, those times when you meet someone and feel you've known them forever, those dreams that feel more real than waking life. These are places where the veil is naturally thin, allowing memories to seep through. Your soul also left itself breadcrumbs, ways to remember its true nature and purpose as it develops the wisdom to handle that knowledge responsibly. These breadcrumbs appear as intuitive knowing, as passion for certain activities or causes, as natural talents that seem to come from nowhere, and as deep inner knowing that you're meant for something significant. The beautiful thing about the veil is that it can be gradually lifted through conscious effort. Meditation, spiritual practice, following your intuition, and paying attention to synchronicities all help thin the veil and reconnect you with your soul's wisdom. You're not stuck in forgetfulness forever. As you grow in wisdom and consciousness, more of your true nature becomes accessible. The key is to approach this remembering with patience and compassion for yourself, understanding that the forgetting served a purpose, and the remembering will happen in perfect timing. The seventh and final stage is the leap of faith birth itself. After all the preparation, planning, and veiling, your soul faces the ultimate moment of courage. It must leave the expanded awareness of the spiritual realm and compress itself into the limitations of physical form. This is the leap of faith that brings you into the world. Birth is traumatic not just physically, but spiritually. Your soul goes from unlimited consciousness to the confines of a tiny body, from instant knowing to the slow process of learning, from unity consciousness to the illusion of separation. It's perhaps the greatest act of courage in all of existence. But your soul makes this leap willingly, even eagerly, because it knows that only through the human experience can it grow in ways that aren't possible in the spiritual realm. Only by temporarily forgetting its divine nature can it have the joy of remembering. Only by experiencing limitation can it fully appreciate its unlimited nature. The moment of birth is also the moment when your soul's support system kicks in. Guardian angels, spirit guides, and members of your soul council all gather to support you through this transition. They remain with you throughout your entire lifetime, offering guidance, protection, and assistance, even though you can't consciously perceive them most of the time. Every breath you take, every heartbeat, every moment of consciousness is a testament to your soul's incredible courage. You agreed to forget who you are so that you could have the experience of remembering. You accepted limitation so that you could transcend it. You chose to feel separate so that you could experience reunion with your true nature. Now that you understand these 7 stages, everything changes. You can never again see yourself as a victim of random circumstances. You can never again believe that you're powerless or that life has no meaning. You now know that every experience, every relationship, every challenge, and every joy is part of a carefully crafted plan designed by your own soul for your highest growth. This knowledge comes with responsibility. Now that you remember you chose this life, you must also remember that you have the power to make the most of it. You're not just drifting through existence hoping things will get better. You're an eternal being having a temporary human experience for the purpose of expansion and growth. The challenges in your life aren't punishments. They're opportunities your soul specifically selected for development. The people who trigger you the most are often souls from your council, who agreed to play difficult roles to help you grow. The circumstances that seem unfair are precisely the conditions your soul knew would most effectively develop the qualities you wanted to master. But perhaps most importantly, you now understand that awakening to your true nature isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Your soul didn't go through all this preparation just to remain asleep in human consciousness. The very fact that this information resonates with you is proof that your awakening has already begun. The question now isn't whether you'll remember who you are. The question is how quickly you'll allow yourself to step into the fullness of your power and purpose. How willing are you to release victim consciousness and embrace your role as the creator of your reality? How ready are you to trust that everything in your life is perfectly orchestrated for your growth? Your soul is calling you to remember. It's calling you to wake up to your true nature and live the purpose you chose before birth. It's calling you to step out of the small story of limitation and step into the epic story of spiritual awakening in physical form. The ancient mystics who created the Codex Animi knew this day would come. They knew that eventually the truth would resurface and souls would begin to remember. They encoded this knowledge not just in manuscripts, but in the DNA of consciousness itself, ensuring that when humanity was ready, the remembering would begin. That time is now. You are part of the Great Awakening, the collective remembering of who we really are and why we're here. Every soul that awakens makes it easier for others to follow. Every person who steps into their power and purpose contributes to the transformation of human consciousness. You didn't choose to be here by accident. You didn't choose this particular moment in history randomly. You chose to incarnate now because you wanted to be part of this unprecedented shift in human awareness. You came to help humanity remember its divine nature and create a new reality based on love, wisdom, and conscious co-creation, rather than fear, control, and victim consciousness. The 7 stages your soul went through before birth were preparation for this moment. Everything you've experienced in your life has been leading up to this awakening. Every challenge has made you stronger. Every loss has opened your heart. Every moment of joy has reminded you of your true nature. Now you stand at a crossroads. You can take this knowledge and use it as interesting information, or you can let it transform your entire approach to life. You can continue living as if you're at the mercy of external forces, or you can step into your power as a conscious creator of your reality. The choice, as always, is yours. Your soul chose this life, but it's up to your human consciousness to make the most of it. The 7 stages have prepared you for this moment of choice. The veil of forgetfulness is lifting. The leap of faith has brought you to this point of awakening. What will you choose? Will you continue sleepwalking through life, or will you wake up to the magnificent truth of who you are and why you're here? Your soul is waiting for your answer. The universe is holding its breath. The time for remembering is now. The forbidden knowledge of the Codex Animi isn't forbidden anymore. It's your birthright, your inheritance, your pathway home to the truth of your eternal nature. You are not a victim. You are not powerless. You are not here by accident. You are an eternal soul having a temporary human experience for the purpose of growth, service, and the expansion of consciousness itself. You chose to be here. You planned this life. You have everything within you that you need to fulfill your highest purpose. The only question now is, are you ready to remember?